Hey Internet, Brainy Bill from Bill Loudon Science here. I've been celebrating snowy science lately, so in our final act of reckless science for the year, I asked what you want to see frozen to 320 degrees below zero using liquid nitrogen. Starting us off with a classic, Tabitha suggested we freeze a marshmallow. The sugar and moisture are squishy at room temperature, but when frozen the molecules stiffen, making the marshmallow hard and brittle. Let's see that again in slow motion. Awesome. The cold is dangerous for living things because the water in our cells can freeze. Here I'll demonstrate that with an egg and Jeff's suggestion to use a rose. The rose petals are soft and velvety at room temp, but they soon freeze frigid and shatter. Unfortunately, the egg didn't quite work as I'd planned. Talk about egg on my face. My mom and Patreon patron Ginger suggested trying a tube of toothpaste. After a quick freeze, the toothpaste freezes in the tube, becomes frigid enough to tear open. Katie, Rusty, and Matt suggested a glove, sock, and kitchen sponge respectively. So I compromised with a wet wool glove. The water freezes the glove, leaving it just pliable enough to give a thumbs up. Well, kind of. Lucas and Katie suggested using a ball, so I tried a standard rubber bouncy ball. The long polymer molecules that allow the ball to deform and rebound get locked in place after being frozen. The resulting ball was less than bouncy. Jeff suggested trying a steel nail after cutting a small score in it. Sure enough, the normally super strong metal became stiff and brittle, allowing me to demonstrate an amazing feat of strength. Can anything survive a dip in liquid nitrogen? Carol suggested trying dice, which, while they look cool, are apparently solid and sturdy enough to survive a hammer at 320 degrees below zero. Always the bright one, Mike asked to see a light bulb, so I grabbed an ultraviolet keychain light and left it on during its deep freeze. Amazingly, the light came out still shining, if a little dimmer than before. I wanted to interject here with one of my favorites. The gas molecules in the balloon are moving and taking up lots of space, but as they run out of energy in the cold, they need less space and begin to crowd together. As soon as the balloon is back in room temp, the molecules resume their pushing and shoving. Matt requested a ballpoint pen. After testing it out, it only took a few seconds in the chill for this pen to become a frosty ink-cicle. Try saying that 5 times fast. Carson and Chad wanted to see a book frozen solid. Paper doesn't seem to behave very differently, so fortunately, if you ever drop your favorite book in liquid nitrogen, you should be able to pick it up where you left off. Speaking of books, Mary Alice wants to see Elsa literally frozen, while brother Max wants his handwriting book to chill. To compromise, I'll use some nitrogen to add a whimsical effect to this Elsa handwriting activity book. From ice to fire, Adam asks to see a candle. Even though the wax basically falls apart in the cold, the wick holds up, and surprisingly, the candle lights right away. Alvin requested a watch, presumably to see if liquid nitrogen was cold enough to freeze time. However, even after a full drenching, time marches on. Now we'll see some culinary cryogenics as Sarah starts us off with a popcorn request. The steam still trapped in the kernels is enough to crystallize them for a game of whack-a-corn. Love my job. Katie knows me well and suggested Funyuns and donuts, while Mindy and Jeff want a healthier route with a banana. The banana, full of moisture, basically becomes a frozen hammer. Donut crystallizes like the marshmallow and meets a similar crumbly end. The air pockets in the Funyun ring hold on to the nitrogen gas, giving you literal dragon breath after you eat it. Don't try this at home. For dessert, Mike wants cookies, so I took some delicious cookies my sister made and crushed them up with cream and vanilla. After a few seconds of alien oozing, you have yourself a bowl of instant cookies and cream ice cream. Delicious. Out of ice? No problem. For our New Year's Eve cocktail, I'll mix Pam's order for spirits with Katie's request for soda, add a lime and a straw, and let the liquid nitrogen do the rest. Because of different densities, the nitrogen only freezes a crisp layer of ice and frost on top of the drink, and you're ready to ring in the new year. Maybe we better give this one a few minutes. Thank you everyone for hanging out with me and doing awesome hands-on science in 2020. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, whose support allows me to keep producing fun scientific content. Happy New Year, everyone, and in 2021, let's do more science, have more fun. Hey, that rhymes!